Imagine your friend or partner asks you to go on a road trip. Naturally, you ask the usual questions. Where we're going, how long will it take, what are the pit stops? Now, imagine you're halfway in and they turn around and go, actually, it's probably going to take triple the time we thought it would, and we'll probably have to swap drivers and car on the way. Naturally, we'll say, no thanks, I'll give it a miss. Good morning, everyone. My name's Laura Stirton, and I'm the business product owner for Maximo at Transgrid. And just to clarify, for question time, I'm the business SME, not the technical one, so any technical questions can be asked by Dennis and Fuad today. And today, I'm going to use this road trip analogy to share Transgrid's journey with Maximo. Like any good road trip, there were high points, breakdowns, and detours, and more than a few moments where we thought maybe we should turn around. But the truth is, we made it. A bit about Transgrid. We operate and manage the high voltage electricity transmission network in New South Wales and Australian Capital Territory. How our power reaches everyone here today. High voltage electricity is first carried over long distances from power stations through 13 k's of our high voltage transmission lines, cables, and substations. Once it reaches our substations, it is then converted to low voltage electricity suitable for household consumption. Distribution networks then deliver electricity through smaller poles and wires to more than 3 million homes and businesses where we're consuming here today. Our challenge for the future: maintaining a high-performing, reliable and secure power system whilst we transition to renewables. We are growing fast, and our challenge for the future is making sure our system can keep up with the growth in the energy industry. That's why we knew we needed an ERP system that could fuel our journey ahead. Before I describe our road trip, here's some stats so you can appreciate what we're using Maximo for at Transgrid. Since go live until the end of October, we've had on average about 220 active users per day, 65 using Maximo Mobile in the field. We've completed almost 6,000 work orders, created nearly over 9,000, and completed 14,000 inspections since go live. So, how did our road trip to Maximo begin? Like every trip, started with a need. Our old car, Ellipse, was about to break down for good. It was due to be unsupported in 2024. And frankly, it was already rattling down the highway. At proof of concept stage, we decided on Maximo for our asset management system, and another system, let's call it System X, for our workforce management system. This was way back in 2020, and we only went live in July this year. So you can appreciate the journey was a lot longer than the ETA on our Google Maps. My purpose today is to share the highs and lows of that journey, in hope that anyone else planning their own ERP road trip might take some lessons from ours. We also had another vendor managing our project. Let's call them John, not IBM. A few years into our trip, we realised that we needed to change drivers. Our workforce system, System X, wasn't going to get us where we needed to go. The scheduling and mobility functions just didn't suit our field needs. So we made the tough call to pull over, swap cars, change drivers from John to IBM. It wasn't an easy decision, but better to change drivers mid-journey than arrive somewhere we didn't want to be. When IBM stepped in, we basically unpacked the whole car, remapped all our processes, and redesigned and rebuilt Maximo for Transgrid. It was like repacking the boot after realising half your bags didn't fit. Our biggest flat tyre was data, and honestly, it was a blowout. We knew data migration would be hard, but we didn't fully appreciate how many moving parts there were until we were already stranded on the side of the road. Transforming data from Ellipse to Maximo wasn't just a copy and paste exercise. It meant reconciling years of legacy practices, cleaning up junk data, and making thousands of judgment calls on what information still mattered. Looking back, we should have invested more time and resources in data architecture from day one. Building a team with the right capability to design, cleanse, and structure it properly. Data isn't just a side activity. It's the foundation of the whole system. Without the right people dedicated to it, you end up creating bottlenecks, where only a small handful of people truly understand your data structure. And every time a defect appears, those are the only few that can untangle it. We also should have started with the end in mind, asking, what decisions do we want to make from this data? What insights do we want to drive? And then designing backwards from there. And you can never do too many dress rehearsals. Each run exposes something new. If you think you're done after one or two, you're not. Our UAT suffered because we didn't have enough clean, structured data to test our workforce functionality properly. So what looked fine in theory didn't always behave the same way in practice. If there's one area I would overinvest in the future or next time, it's data. Because no matter how good your system design is, it's never as strong as the data that underpins it. One of the biggest lessons from our journey was around integrations and the need to give integration design and testing the time it deserves. It's easy to get caught up in the core system build and treat integrations as something you'll tidy up later. But in reality, integrations are the biggest bridges, are the bridges between systems, and if those bridges aren't tested properly, you'll feel every bump in the road. Every scenario needs to be tested end to end, in both directions, and in every environment. Not just to confirm it works, but to confirm it fails gracefully even when something goes wrong. After go live, we hit a painful example of this. Some integrations that had worked perfectly during testing started to fail in production. We couldn't figure out why data wasn't syncing or behaving the way we had tested. It turned out that our environments had quietly drifted apart. The test and production systems weren't aligned for the integrated systems. So while everything had looked fine in UAT, we were effectively driving on a slightly different road once we went live. The takeaway: don't rush integration testing. Take the time to align every environment, test every bridge, and verify the end flow before you start the engine. Another critical change close to go live was appointing a project director. Think of this as finally getting a good navigator in the passenger seat. Someone who could hold up the map, manage the route, and make sure we didn't keep missing turns. They strengthened governance, held timelines accountable, and owned vendor management with IBM. That freed up our project manager to just focus on the technical drive. Lesson learned: no matter how good your car is, you need someone navigating who can see the whole road ahead and keep you on track. As we got closer to go live, it became clear we hadn't put enough business resources on the project. Everyone's hesitant to release operational staff for a system build. But having super users in the car can make a huge difference when you're on the highway. If we could do it again, we'll bring more people from the business about 6 months before go live. Get them hands-on during UAT, and then use them to help roll out training. It's also worth calling out having the right business SMEs involved early at requirements time. People who both understand the operations and take the time to learn how the new system works can make a massive difference. Those people are the ones who bridge the gap between business needs and system design, and they help avoid a lot of rework later on. It's also crucial to have a solid change and training structure in place, both before and after launch. Our people had lived and breathed Ellipse for about a decade. For them, Maximo wasn't just a new car. It was like changing from a manual to an electric vehicle overnight. The change was violent, and we had to help them and meet them where they were. We invested heavily in communication and training, and that made all the difference. So here we are, 3 months post-go live. The road has been bumpy, but we're now firmly in stabilisation mode. We knew scheduling would be our biggest risk due to limited business data, so we planned mitigations early. And we're working closely with IBM to refine process and improve functionality. Our schedulers, about 15 people, have felt the biggest change. For them, it's like switching from an old paper map to a new GPS system that keeps on insisting to recalculate all the time. The good news, our field staff find Maximo Mobile easy to use. So, from a change management perspective, that's a win. Minimal impact to the field, manageable change to our office staff. Our biggest post-go live issues have been related to integration. No surprise there. But the car's still running, the team's still together, and every week we get a little bit further down that road. If I was to summarise the lessons, plan your route properly. Get your data and integrations right early. Pack the right people. Super users are your best co-pilots. Expect detours. Flexibility and good relationships with your vendors will keep you moving. And finally, don't forget to stop the stacks. Sometimes you need to take a break, get a coffee, and laugh about the playlist disagreements before getting back on the road. So if you're about to start your own ERP road trip, plan well, pack smart, and don't be afraid to take the scenic route, because even with the breakdowns, the detours, and driver swaps, the view at the destination is worth it. Thank you. Questions? Yes. So we did that one first. Yes, and then we did the payroll, and then we did the assets and workforce. So.
Oracle for finance, success factors for HR, Maximo for management.
All new. Yeah, hence it took us 5 years. Yeah, and it hurt, but we got there. Yeah, big Band-Aid.
Did you take this opportunity to fix your asset hierarchies? And
Yes,
how you moved
100%. Yeah, we redid all our asset hierarchy.
Okay, second question, around scheduler. What did you use before? Was it within...
We had a bespoke system, so hence the schedulers found it very hard because it's very customised to Transgrid, and obviously we didn't want to customise anything in Maximo to transition to future versions.
How's it going so far?
It's been bumpy, definitely bumpy for them. That, like I said, that's been the hardest change, and they've felt that the most.
Thank you, well done.
Laura, thanks for the presentation. I guess the amount of the initial change in getting those, what were to become your champions on board early, did you have any pushback
Yes.
early on and how to manage that?
Well,
And let's just put the planners and schedulers aside for the moment.
no, 100%. So we definitely had to first bring the leaders along because it starts with them and owning that change for their team, because you can't do it all for the business. And then we got them to nominate Maximo champs, we called them, that could kind of own the change for their teams. And that made a big difference. But like I said, we should have done it more and done it earlier up front. But we're still trying to use our Maximo champ network to kind of, we have a Teams channel for them to ask questions, and they kind of self-serve a little bit, and then we step in when we need to, and then we still have monthly meetings with them to kind of communicate, well, here's the next release and what new functions we're going to bring. So we're trying to keep that network going.
Interesting, that use of a channel.
Yes.
Like a chat, like a...
Yeah, it's just literally a chat. So people can see questions that pop up, and yeah.
And your team can respond to those.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's really good. Sometimes we don't need to step in. Another Maximo champ answers for them. So we find that works really well.
Bushfires around that startup, they can put them on.
Yes, we shut those down straight away.
What does stabilisation look like for you now? Are you taking a breather after 5 years of pain and stabilising and just working to build internal capability, or are you already looking for future opportunities from as Sweden?
Yes. So we're going to 9.1 in the new year. So we're not stopping, but very much so we're in stabilisation mode in terms of like any of the big integrations Seb 2 issues have resolved. So it's kind of calmed the noise, and now it's more about, well, what can we make better for the business based off the issues they've given us, and we've just got mini projects for enhancements plus 9.1 to kind of keep improving things. 5 years. Don't know if you want to.
Still not done.
Still not done. No, yeah, we're still cleaning up data migration, being very open. Like I said, that was our.
Clear as to whether you're going to do data cleansing as part of the data migration, right? Like it's one thing to migrate data into a new structure, it's another to author data that's missing, and Transgrid tried to fill, like, not just fix dirty data, but fill gaps, and try to do as much
Yeah.
of that, which is sometimes unusual, but gets you a lot more.
We love things perfect,
Yeah.
but works against us.
You've got to be in pain, it might as well be in one place.
Yeah.
At one time.
I think the volume is high as well. Like we're migrating every historical information.
Yes, so because we're heavily regulated, it's not like we could go, just bring 5 years of data. We had to bring asset life data, so it was a huge amount of data that we'll pump in from Ellipse into Maximo.
Can I ask one more follow-up? Did you use any tools to do like ETLs and stuff like that?
Yeah, we did.
I'm like looking. At the back, I've got a couple of SMEs. Shout out.
Question from me. Training and adoption is really, really important, especially when you're going through a journey like this.
Yep.
What did you do for your training? Do you have any ELM kind of tooling to support the training? How did you run your the actual end user training? What tools and I guess.
We have one here. Kia basically did, so we had trainers build the training material off UAT, and then we could just basically train off the back of that. But it was
PDFs, is this e-learning modules, self-service? What does it look like?
so depending on the audience and how much change was involved. So our field staff, as you appreciate, they need a lot of love. So we had to make sure we brought them out from the field, gave them a full day to make sure they were comfortable. And so basically it was just a PowerPoint and very hands-on. They had their device, they had activities. So depending on the audience, so we had other groups that only had a very small touch. So for them, just an online PowerPoint training session. So it was very much catered to who was the audience, what did they need. And that was all, obviously, we worked very closely, business and project team, to get that right fit, because you can't expect external people to come in and know your business, because there's one thing to train them, but you have to overlay that business context. And that's where I was like, you need to bring your operation people. No one likes to steal people from the business on the project, but that makes such a big difference when the business owns the training. And then you have those people in each of your teams that can support that kind of transition. So looking back, I wish we did more of that. We kind of did it quickly on the fly, but we didn't do it in a strategic way.
You raise a great point about ownership, right? We always focus external on who did what and what, but what you're highlighting is actually what role the customer themselves, you yourself play in your own journey.
Yep.
And elements that you need to own because of the longevity in terms of this will be your system and consultancies will come and go.
100%. Yeah.
Any last questions?
Go, just one. Long time, this is our first time caller. So, went through a lot of challenges, over several years.
Mm.
Over that time, there's been a lot of organisational resilience to actually go through it, and make sure that your destination is where you want to get to, and you got there. So maybe two parts to the question here. What sort of roles, like the people that were resilient within the organisation, what sort of roles were important? Because a lot of organisations will go through challenges, and it's finding out who are the key players that will keep the journey going and the car moving. And then what sort of things did you have to explore along the way, and tools you used to make sure that the toys weren't thrown out of the car along the way and keep people on board? So roles and tools.
I definitely, like I said, having the business step in and own their change makes a huge difference, because it's very hard when someone from the outside's telling you have to change. It's easier when you have someone from the business tell other people. And like I said before, you get your leaders involved first, get them to own the change for their team, and then they trickle it down and have those Maximo champs stand up in their teams to kind of bring their teams on the journey with them. That was critical. So that's the role part, and apologies, the second part.
Well, like the tools that we use as part of that, like the people who are empowered within the teams, so obviously communication and get them involved, and
100%. I think when the business owns the change, that's where you see a dynamic shift.
Up to exec sponsorship and ownership, right? That's
Yes.
Are the inflection points having the right execs
Yes.
at the table?
Yep, 100%. And I think you can appreciate for us at the moment, we're going through a massive change in the energy industry. So it's kind of like our people have been so used to no change, and we just keep throwing more change at them. So I think we're slowly starting to break them down in terms of change resilience, because for the energy industry at the moment, we can't afford not to be open to change. We have to be agile, and that was very much evident in our system change.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for the
Thank you, everyone.